Hey, so I'm going to do a quick little walk around of what one of our typical little sails look like. Not sure how well you're going to be able to hear me. I'm going to have to go out into the wind, so I may have to do a voiceover, but we'll see. So here's the cockpit, the helm. I always have this little bag here. The bag has all the little pieces that we need that, you know, I don't want to go and run around and have to find. Make sure I can start the engines. Got binoculars, sunglasses, just all the little random pieces that are easy to lose. You know, obviously we have our chart plotter, keep track of where we're going, but then I also have the phone up here, which I don't think you can see the screen, but I've also got our location on here too with our route, just to make sure I have two things running at all times to make sure I know where we're at and where we're going. The depth, that's usually important here in the Bahamas, keeping track of our depth. It gets pretty shallow in some places. And then basically what we need for actually sailing shows our wind speed, wind direction, and speed over ground. This is the autopilot. Got it set now to wind mode. It's always going to keep 125 degree angle to the wind coming from the port side, so on a port tack. You know, that at the moment that's keeping us on our general direction we want to go. And then here's the radio. Got it set to channel 16. Over here on the lines, last thing I adjusted was the main sheet, so I just got the main sheet loosely wrapped around here. Over here, this is relatively new that we've been using the Gennaker. So this is the Gennaker sheet. I think we finally have the routing of the line figured out. I'll show you more details of that here in a minute, but the problem that we still have is I have to keep it wrapped around the winch. I'm not able to relieve the strain, so I don't think this is necessarily the best thing to do. So Shauna was doing some research this morning on ways that we can take the strain off the winch, either by adding some sort of a cam cleat here or some sort of a block that'll lock down here. But yeah, so that's what's going on here at the helm. So then behind me is where a lot of these excess lines go. We put the halyard for the main, we put in here. It just coils up in here. That way when I drop the main, it'll hopefully go out pretty cleanly. This is the halyard for the Gennaker here, and this is the sheet for the Gennaker. Shauna just got done making this sail bag. This keeps 3 different lines in here for us, nicely organized. The travelers for the main, and then the port side jib sheet. So generally when we're sailing, not motoring, but when we're sailing, we try to keep two lines out for fishing. So this particular one is it's got a cedar plug on it. Pretty beat up. It's had quite a few barracuda caught on it, and they've chewed it up pretty good. But generally keep that one out there. So the wind shifted, so the autopilot let me know. So I'm actually going to go adjust a little bit downwind a little bit more. Make sure I keep us going in the generally right direction. Alright, so here's what butter looks like when we're underway. We keep it secured pretty tight. When we're just on these nice calm passages, we keep everything inside there that we normally need. You know, the anchor, our shoes. The only time we ever need shoes is if we're getting butter and go somewhere. You know, in our life jackets. If we're on like a passage that's rough, all that stuff comes out. And then here's the other hand line for fishing. This has some sort of lure on it that also catches barracuda consistently. It's also caught some mackerel. So I always hope that we're going to catch something good there. That's our life sling. Somebody goes overboard. One of the first things that you would do is you would toss this overboard. And then you can start to hopefully drive circles around them, and then they're able to grab on, and then you can eventually pull them in. So walking forward, like we got the Gennaker up, so it's flying. The telltales don't look too good, but it's very, very light wind today. We're probably only going about 5 knots at the moment, you know, 8 to 10 knots of wind. But we had to remove these top lifelines for the Gennaker. I'm not sure if we'll eventually be able to put them back, if we'll figure out, you know, how to get the Gennaker a little bit higher. But that just may be the way it is. And if that's the way it is, then I'm not going to use painter's tape to keep it from snagging. We'll put something better on there. That's the bridle laying there. The bridle goes on when we drop the anchor, so Shauna takes care of all that. She just makes sure that she pulls it out of the water when we leave, and that it's wrapped around this cleat, you know, good enough so it's not going to end up back in the water. And then she puts on the safety here to make sure that if something happens to the windlass, that the anchor doesn't end up going out into the water while we're sailing and doing our day. Very nice sail today. We got the hatches open, not worried about water coming in. And then you know, we got the main up. Main is very dirty, it's very old. Probably gonna have to take it down and have some work done on it when we get someplace where we can spend a week or however long that takes. But we'll see. And then normally I wouldn't be walking on this side with the Gennaker, but it is calm enough that it's safe. But that's the sheet for the Gennaker, the blue line. It goes up there. It's holding it, you know, so that this is what we actually adjust to trim the sail. Looks like I probably need to pull it in a tiny bit to get a little bit faster, but we're not in a hurry. But yeah, that's it. That's a kind of a walk around of what it looks like while we're sailing. Talk to you guys later.